Where's my sunglasses? Did I drop it? What did I do with it? That's scary. Hey, as you know who I am, Peter Emmanuel I. This is a tobacco leaf. It's so beautiful. And this is a fresh crop of the tobacco leaf. I wanted to show it to you. Because all of this I have to put in the fire back there, which, as you see, the fire is dormant right now, but soon it will roar. And I have to make an offering, a special offering to my Auntie Ines. My Auntie Ines is the one who gave me the power of intuition. She, when I was about 3 years old, she put me in my crib, and she went and she lay down and she died. And I saw a lot of people come into the house. I knew how to get out of the crib. I got out of the crib and I went out and I found Auntie Ines had passed away. Auntie Ines was an intuitive. She used to tell the fortune. She used to tell the fortune, and the fortune is to be able to tell people psychologically about themselves. On tonight, we are celebrating, as I've indicated, and we're invoking the spirit of the ancestors. I'm a very selfish person, a very selfish man. What matters to me first is my family and my offsprings, and I'm asking my ancestors to come to our aid. And I have to do it in order of the offsprings. You know, I asked them to come to the aid of Aisha. I asked them to come to the aid of Jamal, to come to the aid of Mia, and to protect her and to help her, that she could be strong and firm in her mind and in her body, that Jamal could be firm and strong in his mind and his body, and Aisha would be stronger and firm in her mind and in her body, and that Marissa would find her way. And as I were married for a long time, and after 8 years of being a widower, that I'd taken a young, well, I know she ain't no goddamn fucking maiden, she ain't no damn maiden, but I took on a new wife. And sadly to say, there are times in my mind, in my sleep, in my dream, I feel a guilt. And, you know, I want to ask Mimi tonight to free me from this dream, free me from this guilt, and allow me to be free. It's not that I forgot you, it's not that I will ever forget you. How could I? If I look at Jamal, I see you. If I look at Aisha, I remember you. I look at Mia. But moreover, now we have Jimena, your granddaughter from Marissa, and we have Eli from Aisha, and I know that you're not with us in a physical form to see and to witness it. But I want you to know, and I want to ask you to please allow me to have this permission to move on. And so we have Tamisha. We have Tamisha. And so what are we now? Let's see what the family is. We have Aisha and Eli, that's 2. We have Marissa and Jimena, that's 2. So that's 4. And we have Jamal, that's 5. And we have Mia, that's 6. And we have Tamisha, so that's 7. And the more we are, the greater I am, and the greater we become. So as we pray tonight, we ask for your blessings. We ask for your acceptance. We ask you to hear our prayer, because we do believe that no one can intercede on our behalf except those who have gone before us. And Mimi, you remember when you left and we had to fight, and we're still fighting for justice for us. And we asked you to call the Council of Saints, to call St. Peter, St. Michael, the Archangel. Is that the Archangel? That's St. Michael. That he would be our shield in the battle that we have to wage against the principalities in this world. And we ask you to keep the council going. Do not dissolve it, because this battle is ongoing, and it is, let me say this, the struggle continues. A luta continua. It does not end. And until the time I come to meet you, and we come to meet you, you must keep the Council of Saints together. And today we ask you to add Tamisha to that list, that our family, you know I need protection, you know I need help, and I know if you were here and you always accepted my friends, my lovers, and so on. So I just want you to know, sometimes I just dream and I just feel like, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but please help me to know, and come to me in a dream and let me know it's okay. And then put your protection on Tamisha. And tomorrow, you know what's going to happen? I want you to make it happen. Because when it happens, it's not for Tamisha, it is for fucking me. Because I need it. Listen to me, I need that shit. I need the health insurance. I need the 401k. And I need the salary. So please, make it happen. That's just all I ask. There ain't no fucking Jesus. Ain't no fucking Allah. There's only you. And you can ask St. Michael and St. Peter and St. Christopher. And you can go to Jesus, if there is a Jesus, and tell that motherfucker that Peter said, let it be. So right now I'm going to do for you an offering. Now you must have met Auntie Ines. You must have met Sin Benoit. You must have met all of our ancestors. And you probably saw, you met your father. And your father told you, he said Peter was a good guy. Peter would make sure you would never be in need of anything. And now that you're in eternity and heaven, or in hell, well, we know we never want to go to heaven. You and I want to go to hell, because hell is where the party people are. I want you to tell Satan, who is better than God, because God don't do nothing but punish people. All God do is heat up. Is it going? You and I had talked about this. We said that God sends tornadoes, hurricanes, kill people, but the so-called devil and Satan never did. And we said, you know, I mean, you used to talk about, oh, well, you just call on Jesus before you die, you'll go to heaven. You know, I don't want to go to heaven. I hope you're not in heaven, because hell is where the party people are. You don't want to be Pat Robinson. You don't want to be whatever that guy was, the one that what was his name again? I forgot his name. Anyway, All I'm telling you is, I'm here, I'm calling upon you, help me out, continue to protect me. Look at me, I have your, what, they tell me this is your ashes. I don't know if it's for sure, you know, I just found out when they burned somebody, I was watching a show on Netflix, and they say that you're not sure if you're getting the right ashes. That's why I'm going to buy some land, so when I am coming to meet you, they can burn me with wood on our land, and we can be certain that it's the ashes of Pope Peter Emmanuel I. Yeah, I did become a pope after you left, and I adopted the never-ending difficult task of leading the Negroes and trying to break the curse of Ham. Right now, what I have here is some tobacco. Auntie Ines used to smoke a pipe. But Aisha and I, we shredded this tobacco, and it's just too goddamn fine, okay? It's too fine. So I'm going to send it as an offering to the ancestors. And your father loved to smoke cigarettes. So I'm going to send this to Arthur. I'm going to send this to Auntie Ines. I'm going to send this to all of our ancestors who smoke. The dust is making me cough. So I'm going to send it to them. The other thing I want you to know. You can start over. I have a piece of the tree from the flower arrangement that they made for you, our neighbors. Ted, who was the lady name again? You remember Ed and whatever her name was. And I planted it in the yard, and it made a big tree. And it really, really freaks me out. You understand? A huge tree, and it creates privacy to the room. So they cannot see when me and Tammy are having sex. And Tammy is young and strong. She's the age of Marissa. You always told me if I was gonna fuck around to get a younger woman. So now that I'm single, I got a real young woman, and she just fight me for sex, Mimi. Can you imagine she fights me to go and have sex with her? You know? And sometimes I just want to think. I just want to think and to be a theorist. And this girl is fighting me to have intercourse, sexual intercourse. She said, oh, you're my husband. You're supposed to intercourse me. Guess what? I will intercourse her tonight after this ceremony. I'll give her some hard strokes the way I used to give it to you. She likes it too. She just haven't gotten used to anal yet. But we're working on that, baby. This is the plant from your, but let me tell you the biggest story. You remember when you had the anise plant you bought, and I couldn't, and it washed away, and I found the plant in the grass, and I planted it. Today anise grows in our yard. It never stops. It never stops. And it is you. Your immortalization is in this anise plant. And the other thing that is you're immortalized by is the goddamn green onions that you plant. They make seeds and they're all over the yard. I cannot get rid of them. And then the so-called plant you call the Brazilian plant, the purple plant, I don't have it to show it to you right now, but that plant is all over the yard and it's going over the neighbor's yard, and people are asking me for plants of it, and I'm giving it to them. And I found out that you can eat it makes a pod, and I'm going to learn about it, so it's food. So all I want you to know, though you have left your presence and your immortalization, and that's what I'm trying to achieve, is my own immortalization by the plants. I'm planting, look, let me show you. I have this thing here, it's called taro. I'm planting it, it's food. So it's gonna grow in the yard. And if ever one of our offsprings or grandchildren are hungry and they come home, they can dig it up and they can cook it and eat from it. And then I'm going to put a privacy fence, and I'm going to create an underground, and I'm going to put a chicken pen underground, so we'll have eggs and we'll have proteins. I know, I just wanted to tell you how much I miss you, and that it's hard, it's difficult. It's been 8 years. 8 years, but if you are true to somebody, if you were true to somebody, there's no amount of time in which you forget them. It doesn't matter what you do, you can move on, you can remarry, you can have new children. But if you were true, if you were true, if you were honest in your feelings, you cannot forget them. Please accept the offerings that I make tonight to you. And please answer my cry, answer my prayer, and give to Tamisha her wish, and give to Aisha her wish. I know you don't have a problem doing that, but I hope that you don't have a problem with Tamisha. She's been good. She cooks. You never fucking cook for me 3 times a day. You never fucking clean the house. But she does her best to organize the house. But that's not what we want to dwell on. I don't want to dwell on that. Each one of us have our strong points and our weak points. All I want you to know is that I do miss you in spite of your imperfections, in spite of your shortcomings. And one day I hope to see you again. And as I always prayed, that when I come to the gate of eternity, you'll wear the scarf that I sent you. I don't even remember the scarf now. I have to go look at the pictures. But you'll wear it. And I'll be able to recognize you among all those souls. There gotta be so many souls in eternity, you know. From the beginning of time to now, they keep telling us about the end of the world, but I don't believe the world is ever gonna end. Maybe you came back. Maybe you are in Humana. Who knows? Maybe you already been reincarnated. Maybe you've been brought back. I gotta go see. But thank you for everything you did for me, everything you gave me, the life you gave me, the opportunities you gave me, and most of all, the ability to anchor in the United States of America. And I will work in whatever time I have left to make you proud, to make Tamisha proud, and to make Eli proud, and to make Humana proud. And I wish you were here to see them. I know how much you care about Aisha, and I'm just... Right now, I gotta go light the fire, okay? And I gotta do the tobacco, and I gotta do this. And guess what? The Mexican header that you planted, it has never died. Every year, it comes back in glory. And now the rabbits, they nest in it. I hope I didn't cut too much of it tonight to upset the nesting of the rabbits. But in this yard, the rabbits find safety, and they come and they nest and they make their babies. All I ask is for your protection and for us to achieve that we set up. Oh, guess what? I know you never wanted me to do certain things, but guess what? I don't give a fuck. I'm planting in the front yard. I'm putting fruits. I'm putting food. And I'm going to put a sugar date. And I'm going to plant a coconut plant. And yes, them motherfuckers came after me. They came after me for painting the house. You know, they say I couldn't paint it red, white, and blue. I'm so patriotic. But guess what? I got an angle on them. And I'm going to flip it on them. When you get this message, babe, just help us out, okay? Just help us out. And you say I still wear the old Lucent shirt. You remember those days when we were at Lucent? We were at AT&T? Oh. Oh. I promise you, as long as I live, I'm going to give them motherfuckers hell. Hell. Well, no, forget hell. Hell is a good place. I'm going to give them heaven. Because they all want to go to fucking heaven. So I'm going to send their ass to heaven. That's what I'm going to do. I bless you. I will always remember you. I'll never forget you. And look after Tamisha as she looks after me. That's all I ask you to do. You know? And, you know, I could have did a lot of things. I could have gone with other people, but she's the one. Thank you so much for all you gave to me. And let me go now and make a fire for you and burn these beautiful herbs. You see, all our garden that we did. All the gardening that we did. I offer it to you tonight. I invoke you tonight. And I ask you to come to our aid, come to our protection, and ask all the others. You remember James? You remember Joffrey? You never met my father. But I know you met your father. And tell him I need his help. And I know you saw Ernie. And Ernie was so nice. It's okay, he was gay, and I'm sorry he died from AIDS, but such is life. You see that fire over there? I'm going to raise it back to life. And it's going to rock. And everything that's here, we're going to burn it before the night is over. In your honor and the honor of all our ancestors, that they should remember us and let them know that we have not forgotten them. We never forget them. From the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to sleep, in anticipation that our moment can be any time we can come to meet you. And we hope that you're making way for us. You're preparing a place for us, and that you'll be there to receive us. I hope you'll be there to receive me when I come. Believe me, I do not fear. I saw how they took you. I saw how you died. And I expect to die at any time and at any moment. And this is why anybody who think I'm crazy, who think I'm mad to do this video, to do this ceremony, fuck them. Fuck them in their ass, fuck them in their nose, with no foreplay and with no lubrication. Mimi, look at us and answer our prayer and grant us our wishes. You know what we need? Tomorrow we need a victory. Haitian is a victory. The mission is a victory. You have to give it to them. This is all I ask. Don't worry about me. You know I've always been fine. I've always been good. You've always had confidence in me and never doubt that I'm still the person that you left. Thank you. And I bless you, and I look forward to the moment and the opportunity when I'll come to join you in eternity. Amen. Hello and good evening once again. And thank you for taking this opportunity on your TV, your phone, wherever you are, in your bathroom, in your bed, driving, somewhere in North America, South America, East America, Europe, wherever you are. I want to thank you once again for allowing me to come into your life and to share with me the ceremony and the commemorations that we do in honor of our faith, our belief, and of our practice. As you know, the last time we did this was on All Saints' Day, the 1st of November, when we remember all of our sins, all of those who had departed before us. And today is the 9th of December. And on the 9th of December, we're doing a special ceremony called the Ceremony of Supplication. We are making a supplication. We're making an appeal. We're asking our ancestors to come to our aid and to come to help us. And as you know, in our tradition and in our ceremonies, as you have seen before, we use fire. And what we do is we offer the best of our harvest to the gods and to our ancestors. And so tonight we're doing a special ceremony for two members of our family whom we need a special favor for. We can't say their names and we can't say what the favors are. But the ancestors will know because I will speak to them in peace and in quiet, and I will ask them for this favor. But before I ask them for the favor, I have to do all the things that I know they would have wanted me to do when they were here. For example, later on I'll show you, even though it's dark, the perimeter of this yard, which I've single-handedly dug up. And our last minted ancestor, the one that is closest to us, who is Mimi, when she was alive, she always loved to command me to go out ever so often to dig up the garden, to shake up the dirt. And if you're a gardener, if you're a planter, you know that you have to dig up the dirt around your plants so it makes your plants grow better and become healthier. What you see here tonight, this is an urn. And I got this urn from Haiti. And the strange thing is I bought it from somebody at the airport who was trying to sell it, and I bought it at the last minute, and I bought two. And I remember I had another one that was brown, and back in the late 90s and early 2000s, I had bought all this stuff from Haiti, some art and these urns, and we were trying to sell it on the internet. And I know for a fact I sold one, and it was a brown one or whatever color it was. I have a picture of it somewhere on the computer, and I'm going to find it. And probably because I sold it, I didn't die yet. But for some reason, I didn't really know what it was, but I thought to myself, it is something you could carry ashes in, right? And maybe my ashes could go in it, or one of our ashes to go in it. And it happened that it's Mimi's ashes that is in it now, right? And so we're carrying this with us, and we hope to carry it from generation to generation. There's a lot of people that say they love their mother, they love their father, they love their brother, they love their sister, and it has buried them somewhere, and they never go to the grave. Or they get the ashes and they just dump it somewhere. But you see, we do not dump Mimi's ashes. We use it in everything that we do. And one of the things I've noticed, you see, I just cut myself. I have a bad habit of breaking my nails. I don't know if it's a nervousness or whatever. But what I do know is that every time I've put Mimi's ashes in the watermelon in the cantaloupe, in the, just spread it over the yard. Anything I plant just grows strong and prosperous. So tonight I have an avocado seed. I'm going to plant that. Tonight I have the tobacco leaves. Now I think I started tobacco after Mimi had left, because she left in 2013, and it was in 2013, 2014 I went to Dominica and I discovered the people were planting tobacco on our property. So I don't mean to be disrespectful to the ancestors, but you know what? I'll put my drink in the plastic glass, right? I'll put my drink in the plastic glass, and I'm going to pour a drink for Mimi. Well, I have to do it in seniority. So I'm going to do for Mama Sin, for Auntie Ines, for my grandmother, for Auntie Yvonne, for my father, for my brother, for my nephew, and it's so many, for Mikey. How can I forget Mikey? For Geoffrey, and who else? There's so many of them, I cannot call every name. So I'll pour some symbolically for all the others. And you see, they will have more than me. So this is mine, and this is theirs. I will even give a little more for Marcus Garvey, for Samora Michelle, for Booker T. Washington. Strangely enough, for all the years that we have celebrated our ancestors, we never burn the leaves that we collect at fall. Tonight is the third quarter or the fourth quarter, or maybe even the fifth day of the moon. And when the moon is on the fifth day, is the best time to trim your plants. They'll make a bountiful of fruit and they'll grow healthy. And I was taught that in my youth. Over here, I wanted to show you. We're going to make a coconut palm grow in Texas. We have had this coconut for over 6 months. Finally, I decided I'm going to grow it into a plant. Here you have a sugar date. Okay? It's been in the house for a while. I'm going to put it in the soil. If it survives the winter, it survives the winter. And these are, let me bring it over here in the light. This is taro. This is dashin. This is a sort of food. Okay? And I'm going to, I may not do it tonight, but come tomorrow, come the weekend, I'm going to, all of these are seeds, all of these are plants. I'm going, you see, they're ready to go. I'm going to plant it all over the yard. All over the yard, so that there'll never be a day if there's no way to get food that will not have access to food. And I'm also going to get different varieties of this food. Additionally, this year I plan to dig up all the grass from the backyard to grow food. And no one, I fear no one can come and tell me that I cannot do so. But as you see this fire here, I want you to take a moment because I want to show you how we're going to call one of our spirits. And we're going to call them with the leaves. The leaves that we would normally just throw away. We're going to put it in here. Okay? We're going to put it in here, and it's going to grow into a roaring fire to call the elderly ancestors. Okay? We're not calling the young ones yet. You see? The young ones are angry. The old ones have accepted their role in eternity. And soon you'll see this fire. You cannot be afraid of the fire. You have to put your hands in it and you have to work it. And then it's gonna roar up and you're gonna say, what if it had roared while your hands was in it? Well, hey, that's the way it is. But I want to share something with you. You see, a lot of people, first of all, when the fire roar, we'll pour a drink for the ancestors. In the meantime, I will sip on the drink that I'm having with them. I will say, cheers, cheers. Come to our aid, come to our help, grant our wish and grant our prayers. This is all we ask, all we ask. And you know what it is? We ask you because there can be no other intercessor between God and man except your ancestor. I mean, it's stupid for you to think that Jesus can intercede for you, that Pope Francis can intercede for you, that your homosexual priest, your pedophile priest, the person you go to for confession can intercede for you. It's like being an immigrant. When you immigrate, it's your family member who makes way. If they're compassionate, if they're helpful. For those of us, we know the story of this life. They all want to come to the United States of America. You know, Neil Diamond make a song. I remember when I got here in 1979, and I used to work the graveyard shift in the restaurant. And the song used to say, they come to America. They come to the United States of America. And I came to the United States of America. And the United States of America, you have to have somebody there to make way for you, to help you. That's how it is in heaven. In heaven, the people that go before you have to know how to get around. And they have to be the ones to show you the way. So if you're not in touch with them, how do you expect to find your way around heaven? And if you need favors from God, how do you expect to get favors from the God they tell you that exists, if not for your family members and your friend who have seen God before you? I mean, it's logic. And that's why it takes such a strong emotion from me in moments and periods like this to call upon our ancestors to help us with our lawsuits, to help us with protection from those who seek to ruin our soul, and to help us to achieve economic independence, to achieve the career goals that we have envisioned for ourselves. And so tonight we call upon them. We ask them to reach down and touch the hearts of women and of men like ourselves, that they may open the way and open the path for us. So I want to tell you a story now. I want to tell you a story. It works. I tried it before now.
Okay.
Hello. As you can see, I'm back again, and if you look back there, you see the spirits are coming. Whenever a fire that is suffocated without oxygen for combustion suddenly becomes to combust, and a flame comes. And these are the hackening of the late spirits, the older people. The younger people haven't came yet, because the younger people are angry. When they come, the flame shoots up through the fire. So you see, right now we're preparing for them. But before we do, I want to talk to you a little bit about religion. You see, I have in my hand the Book of the Mormons. And the Book of the Mormons, they talk about the Negroes and the sons and daughters of Ham and the different levels of heaven and where the Negroes will go. Then we have the Holy Bible, but this Bible in particular, they say was written by a man named King James. And this is the Bible of Muriel Wharton, who is the grandmother of Mimi and who is from the Caribbean. And she had in here some records, and these people were very brainwashed because King James was and here we have the memorial of Mimi, you know, when she became a martyr, and the story of her life. And some of the people got upset. They didn't like the fact that I said she was the lily of the valley. And it just so happened to open to Chronicles dedicating the temple. Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, I don't believe in any of those things. You see, now we mention the name of Mimi, and here she comes rowing, and soon I got to feed the fire. But I wanted to show you, we got the Bible, right, which is by King James, who was an imperialist king of France at the time, so he couldn't have any really Christian values. And then here, you see, look at that. When I tell you the spirits are coming, this is what we mean. This is the hackening. And you see all what we got here to give to the prayer? You see all what we have here to give to the prayer? And we're going to let it subside for a minute. And then we're going to feed it again. Then we have the Quran. They call it the glorious Quran. And it's the book of the Muslims. Now, we didn't show you the Torah and the Talmud, which is also tied to the Old Testament. But in all these books, these people talk bad about Jews. They talk bad about each other. And they all want to do evil things to one another. But we don't preach those things. We don't practice those things. All we think about and all we practice is the remembrance and the commemoration of our ancestors, and we call on them for the art of fire worship. That's all we do. And if you think we're evil for doing that, and if you want to come and hurt us for doing that, come right along. You're welcome. So we have to drink for the ancestors. Look at that. This guy is getting, that's a triple. Look, you know what? I am not going to give these people a triple and a double. In the club, you know how much this would cost? In the strip club, you know how much this would cost? So this is going to be about a shot of Patron like the strippers like. I'll tell you what, I know Mimi would not be upset if I decided to take a little bit from the offering from the ancestors. Okay, so now I took they still have a lot. Oh my God, I'm almost like Frank on Shameless. Okay, so this now is for the ancestors. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to the fire. You gotta watch me now. This is serious stuff. This is real serious worship stuff. I don't know what you do in church. I don't know what you all do, But I'll tell you one thing, not for a minute when I wake up in the morning do I forget my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my Auntie Yvonne, my friends who have passed away, and who one day I hope when I pass away, that's one thing you have to know, all of us are going to die. We don't know when, and it can be at any time, at any moment. I hope and pray that somebody will have the time to do a ceremony like this to remember me, and if they don't, well, that's fine. But while I'm alive, I will always be doing this in worship of my ancestors. So now, this is for Mimi. This is for Auntie Yvonne. This is for Geoffrey. Look at that. Look at that. You see how they take their drink? You see how they take their drink? You see how they take their drink? Look at that. All right? And this is for all of the others. For Mikey, for Geoffrey, for James, for JP, and for me. You know what? I'm going to pour a drink for me. For when I'm gone, I'm going to pour a drink for me. For when I'm gone, because if no one pours a drink for me, and I'm going to put some of Mimi's ashes with it, okay? So we're going to offer the ashes, and this is for Peter Emmanuel the First. You see, for me, in remembrance of me. Amen. Cut.
Oh, wow.
You see that? Look at that, baby. Look at that. People have to believe I'm really doing voodoo, you know. Voodoo. Ça c'est la voodoo. Les mêmes chants la des fées, qui est la mona Macandal.
Get this video.
Macandal. The invocation of Faswa Macandal.
Calm down yourself.
I don't know, that charger not working right now. Hello. And This drink is strong. The ancestors will be proud of me, except for Auntie Ines and Auntie Yvonne. But at this stage of our ceremony, I want to make an offering of tobacco. This tobacco I grew myself. It's very strong. You can smoke it as a cigarette, but I think we grinded it too fine. So as a result of that, I'm going to make it into an offering. And then I have here some fresh tobacco leaves that we grew right here in my yard with my own hands. Don't worry about my volume. These people in this neighborhood, they come in their houses, they have big houses, they go in, they don't hear shit. You could shoot me right now and they wouldn't hear it, okay? So it's not my voice they're hearing. But I now think of my Auntie Ines. My Auntie Ines, she put me in my crib. And she went and she laid down and she died. She died. And that's when she gave me the power of intuition. And in her honor and in her memory, she's a senior ancestor. And she used to smoke the pipe. And I have to get me some new pipes. I have the pipe tobacco, but all three of my pipes broke. And maybe I get a cheap one from Walmart, a corn pipe. But Auntie Ines was a fortune teller, and people would come from all parts of the island of Dominica to consult with her. No different than the way people come to consult with me today, to ask me about their financial affairs and to ask for my advice. But I'm so proud that I discovered tobacco, even though it was an accident by some people growing it on my land without permission on the island of Dominica. But these are the first leaves of the tobacco crop. And the tobacco crop grew. I didn't plant them, I just have seeds, wild seeds over the yard. Every year they're gonna grow. But Ines in eternity needs tobacco, so I'm sending it to her. I'm sending her this big bag, and I'm sending her these fresh leaves. And every time now, every time here on, I will send tobacco to Ines, to Donald Collins, to Ernest Macpherson. Ernest wasn't a nice guy when he was alive, but all our ancestors, whether they were good or bad, we have to remember them as good. Ernest Macpherson, he was a nice guy. He used to kill the pig, right? And he would always cut the pig. Instead of just giving us the pig in 2 pieces, he would cut it in 4 pieces. So I told my mother, I said, look, Uncle Ernest is taking part of the middle. You know, so plus what you give him, he would get, you know, he'd take part of the middle. So one day I went to Uncle Ernest to watch him butcher the pig. Excuse me, okay? This is what real men do. So Uncle Ernest butchered the pig, and he wouldn't let me stay there to see what he did. So he asked me to go to the river, because there's a river running in our village right there. And you know, if we were Chinese, if we were anything but Negro, that river would be a river providing food for our people. But today it's a cesspool of contamination, and it's just ridiculous. When I was a little boy, I went to the river and I caught a tater to put on my tolly. That's why I have a nice tolly today. And I went back, you know, I went with the guy who squats, and I showed him in the river with a piece of sugar cane how you get a tater. But unfortunately I didn't catch it because I need to do a renewal. In my age now, at 59, I need to go and do a renewal, put a new tater on my tolly so my tolly can stay strong, so the young women can be satisfied. But the people of Dominica have destroyed the environment, they have destroyed the rivers, they have destroyed the life in the rivers. But guess what? If I make up my mind to, you see, I'm a coward. I'm a lazy guy. One minute I am so strong like a bull and I want to fight everybody. But if I make up my mind to go and fight those people and take over the island and clean it up, so many people will have to die, they wouldn't understand. But listen, Auntie Ines, this is for you and for your friends in eternity. And this is a tobacco that I grew personally here in Plano, and I want you to now receive it as my offering to you. This is my offering to you, okay? This is my offering to you, and this is my offering to you, because we have more leaves that we can smoke. Ooh, you can smell that.
Get the sides.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Get this.
I'm getting high. I'm getting high. I'm getting high. No, it's okay. The sides are okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. God bless you, Auntie Ines, Donna Collins, Auntie Yvonne. You all looked after me. Mama Sim, it's your boy, Peter, your great-grandson. Don't forget me, babe. When I come to see you, I have to do a lot of things on earth before I come to see you. And that's why tonight I offer you this tobacco in honor of what you have done. And then you must come over here. We must offer to Mimi. Mimi, you don't want Mimi to be what you call that? Jealous of the ancestors that went, oh, Muriel Wharton, Mimi's grandmother, all these people who cared for me and who loved me. And Auntie, what her name was, I can see a picture but I don't remember her name. So we'll put in here Mimi's what is this thing called again? Anise. Oh, anise is so beautiful. I tell you, let me tell you, when the neighbors around here smell this, the motherfuckers can't call the police, because this is killing the flies, killing the mosquitoes. Let them call them. They have called the police and the fire brigade on me a couple of times, you know. since I've been living here. But guess what? I am not a Negro. I'm a Jew who pretends to be a Negro, so I can show you all how they treat Negroes in the United States of America. But guess what? I am powerful. I'll always be powerful. And I am strong like a fucking young raging bull. And I'm going to rage and wage mischief against the enemies of God and the enemies of man. Show them how the tobacco burn for Auntie Ines and for Mimi and for those who have gone before us. And Mimi also needs, Mimi planted this beautiful Mexican heather which will never die. It doesn't die in winter. It's supposed to die. It's an annual. But in our yard, because of our voodoo, because of our power, we got the moon. The moon is as 5 days moon. 5 days moon. You understand? And even before we go to bed tonight, we're going to trim all the plants. And tomorrow, everything we wish for, guess what's going to happen? It's going to come true. Because God favors us. God loves us. And God's listen to our prayers. So this is Mimi's Mexican heather. I don't want Mimi to get mad at us now. Let us send her some of our Mexican. What do you agree? We should send her Mexican heather. So we put it in here at the top. And you see, even there, the fire has gotten underground. The fire has gotten underground. You understand? And we don't fear the fire because we were born in the fire. We are children of the fire. We are children of the fire. And let me tell you this. You see this fire thing? Show us a picture of it. This fire thing, Mimi left us 8 years now. And we had this before Mimi left us. And we got it from Albertsons. And how did we get it? On reparations. We got it on reparations. And it's still going. And Mimi believed in reparations. And we believe in reparations. Because we work for this country. We work for the British. We work for the Portuguese. We work for the Spanish. And for the French. And for the Dutch. And all the so-called great powers of Europe for free. Let me tell you something.